Okay, we're recording. Okay, short version. My name is Alex Stillhead, I produce as. I used to work under the name Different, DFRNT, and I am crowdfunding my second Stillhead album, which is called Copenhagen. It's going to be a 2 CD set. The first CD will be original tracks, the second CD will be remixes, and I'm looking for your help to make that happen. Beyond that, this video is just going to be talking about the project and telling you a bit about the story behind why I'm doing this project in this way and various other things. So if you're not interested in that, you can hit stop now and you can go and help me support, contribute, share this in some way, and that would be perfect. If you would like to hear more, then continue listening. There was a beep, never mind. So, my name is Alex and I produce deep electronic music. It has been described as cinematic, vast, epic, emotional, and many other things. Musically, it sits somewhere between dub, ambient, drum and bass, down-tempo, chill-out, dub techno, post-dubstep, deep techno, and bass music. And I guess I take inspiration from many places and kind of mix it all together and make it my own. I did spend around 10 years making and releasing music, first under the name Different and now under the name Stillhead. As Different, there were 4 albums, 20 or so EPs, stacks of remixes and compilation appearances alongside my Echo Dub record label and my Cut record label. In 2013, I decided that I wanted to make a shift in my production work. I wanted to focus less on releasing in quantity and focus more on releasing in quality. Tracks that I could stand behind for years and tracks that I wouldn't get sick of by the time they had been released. If you don't know, the release process can take months, sometimes even years to happen and get through all these stages, and by the time you get to the end of that stage, if you're not fully behind the tracks, it loses the momentum a little bit towards the end of the process. So with Stillhead, I've tried very carefully to release quality over quantity. As a result, it's been almost 2 years since I released my debut album, Iceberg. It's about a year since my last EP, the Spiders EP, and to date there have only been a handful of remixes, a few compilation appearances, and aside from a short film soundtrack that I did recently, not much else. The time has come, however, to release another collection of tracks, this time produced around and during the time that I spent living in the Danish capital city, Copenhagen. It seemed fitting to give the album the name Copenhagen.
Hello there.
That was weird. It seemed fitting to give the album the name Copenhagen, and the release will serve as something of a catalogue of my time there. I'd almost call it a tribute, but I'm not sure I can do the city justice with my humble productions. I have created 10 brand new tracks, previously unheard, all original Stillhead tracks, including a collaboration with a new Estonian vocalist, a track with a previous collaborator and woozy rap aficionado Move Ons, and a track co-written and produced with a good friend and recent father, Lee Chapman. Chapman. Sorry, Lee. Not content with just a single disc's worth of audio, I've also sourced remixes from some of the producers who I really respect. Alongside those, I am also going to provide a couple of my own alternate versions and re-edits of my own to just kind of round out the package. We're looking at 20 tracks altogether, which I hope fill people's ears, minds and hearts. The actual release itself. So my first album, Iceberg, felt like it went a little bit under the radar. Working with a different label, it had become a vinyl and digital only affair, and I had kind of hoped that I'd be able to press it onto CD too. Unfortunately, due to circumstances out with my control, the plug was pulled on the CD side of things. Screensaver on there. I felt like the rug had been pulled a little bit from under my feet. Not anybody's fault. just an unfortunate situation, but I did feel like I'd lost a little bit too much control over the project. So as a result, I'm keen to release my second album on my own label and retain as much control over the project as I can. Self-releasing is something I like to encourage through my howtoselfrelease.com stuff. I push people to do that because I think it's important that you can retain control. Having successfully managed to do it in the past with a different album and a cut compilation, the crowdfunding thing is something that I thought I would give another go. With the added bonus of being able to take the mistakes that I've learned from those other funding campaigns and sort of put that into action now. What I'm hoping for is to be able to raise enough contributions to launch the album in a way that I would like on a format that I am keen to release on. I've already invested a stack of my time and money into this project. The artwork has been drafted, the original tracks have been completed, and the remixes are being finished as I film this. The next step is to send everything for mastering and to confirm the initial format. After that, I'll be able to order a limited run of the product, probably 100 or maybe 200 to begin with, depending on how much uptake there is on the funding. After completing the artwork and getting the masters compiled and sent off, I'll be able to order the run of prints that I would like to go with the album, prints of an illustration that I've done for the cover. And I'm also keen to add as many additional extras as possible to the project. So depending on how much support and contributions I get, I'm also considering things like a vinyl release, USB sticks with sample packs, project files, that kind of stuff for producers, maybe some extra remixes, and also some other kind of swag type things, stickers and so on that you tend to get with these sort of things. Those who contribute will get as much as I can feasibly afford to give. This isn't a money-making exercise for me, it's about getting the music out there. It's about making the most of the album and, in a sense, making things a little bit easier on my wallet. Doing the crowdfunding thing allows me to essentially take pre-orders for the album, and then I can worry a little bit less about the remix fees, packaging, mastering costs, promo, artwork, distribution, pressing, which is conservatively looking like altogether a couple of grand, but could be closer to 3 or 4 if there's enough interest for this sort of thing. The perks I've got on offer are hopefully enticing enough to convince you that this is a worthwhile project, but it's not really about that for me. I'm happy to make sure you get all your money's worth. I imagine those who contribute are doing it more out of support, appreciation for my work, and for unsigned artists than because they need a new CD for their collection. Most of you will probably stream the album on Spotify or listen on downloaded MP3. That's completely fine, but of course being able to even shift 50 or 100 CDs would be brilliant. To know there are even 50 people out there who appreciate my music and what I'm creating is really an honour, and I hope that I can connect with every single one of you in some way at some point in the future. As for risks with a project, well, I don't think there are any, aside from the fact that it could completely flop, but the more support that I get, the better the end product will be. But if I get nothing, then the project will still go ahead, just in a cut down format. The album will still be released, but the CDs might just be more regular. There's less likely to be a run of prints or vinyl or any special promo or that sort of thing. It'll just slip out like a whisper on the wind. So if you can spare a few quid, some euros, a couple of bucks, the odd ruble, a yen or two, or whatever your national denomination is, then of course that'll be gratefully received. If you want to splash a bit more, then please do. I could use all the help that I can get. That said, if you can't afford to contribute, then I completely understand. And if you have the time or energy, then you can help me by sharing this campaign, telling anybody you think might be interested, or just giving me a few shouts on social media to help me spread the word. I look forward to getting this thing off the ground and keeping you updated along the way. I also hope that I have perhaps inspired you in some way to contribute, or at least to share this with a friend who might. Thanks again, everyone.